What is going on, Laker fans? The hell is going on, Laker fans? Long time no talk. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Putting up a video here on this Sunday. I took a little time off. Was still obviously doing the radio show. Still doing Lakers talk on Mondays. But ready to get back here on YouTube and start putting up some more consistent content. So thank you for being a part of the show. Also, there hasn't really been anything that's kind of been crazy breaking around the Lakers. I know a lot of rumors and stuff along those lines, but nothing that I feel like is earth-shattering. Lakers still without a head coach. We're going to figure out what they're going to do come NBA draft, free agency, what's Bron going to do, all that stuff. So I got four things I want to get into. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday here. I'll give everybody just a quick idea. I want to talk about AD's role in firing of Darvin Ham. There was an article that came out from Sam Amick of The Athletic. I want to get into that. Should the Lakers go all in for Donovan Mitchell? I've done this before on Trae Young, giving you guys my opinion on that. Trae Young doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's some thoughts that Donovan Mitchell may go back to the Cavs, may not. Couple articles on that. LeBron won't leave the Lakers to join Bronny James. That was a story I saw this morning, actually. And then all signs point towards JJ Redick as the next coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So those are the four topics we're going to get into. As we do in every show, if you guys don't mind subscribing to the channel, would appreciate that. Closing in on 25,000. Would love to get to 25,000. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video if you like it as well. And let's get into it. Okay, AD's role in the firing of Darvin Ham. So there's an article. I mentioned Sam Amick of The Athletic. By the way, this is a very athletic-centric article or show today because I got something from Sam Amick. I got something from Jovan Buha, The Athletic, Shams from The Athletic, and then Mark Stein. So four different guys, three of them with The Athletic. I'm going to read a quote here from Sam Amick, and this is on the hiring, or this is on part of the firing of Darvin Ham. Let me share this with you guys. I think sharing this with you guys is the right way to do that. That way we can look at this together. So, okay, this is coming. Lakers Daily did a good job of just kind of compressing the story. So I'm going to read it from them. This is Sam Amick of The Athletic, and we could obviously both see this together. I'll get the quote up here. When they chose to fire Darvin Ham, I was told, this is Sam Amick, that one of the many, many considerations that it was pretty evident that Anthony Davis was not on board anymore with Darvin. And they know, like everybody else, that AD has a history of having asked for trades in the past. That's how he got to the Lakers from New Orleans. Last thing they wanted was for AD to be frustrated with the situation and maybe have those types of thoughts cross his mind. First off, let's also not make it sound like this is, something that goes on. I think it, and I don't think Sam Amick's trying to make it sound like, he's gone from, this is his fifth stop in the NBA, but he's basically requested a trade one time that was from New Orleans to the Los Angeles Lakers. And that was it. So there has not been, I don't think there's a long history of it. It's not like Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving or even LeBron, who's played for multiple teams. Now, I know not all those cases were requesting for trades. Bron had left in free agency. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the point that Sam Amick is trying to make is Lakers were scared that Anthony Davis might ask for a trade, and because of that, that's one of the reasons why the Lakers decided to fire Darvin Ham. I want to go back here. I've thought during the time of Darvin Ham as a coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, I thought a couple different times. There were some moments where it's like, all right, well, doesn't feel like he's got the entire room. Do you guys remember in January where there was multiple reports talking about I think it was The Athletic that had the article that there are players that are kind of upset about their role, not really understanding what's going on. That was a moment in January I thought, all right, if he loses the team now, he could lose his job. Obviously played through the entire season, but for me, there was one moment this year that was kind of the biggest surprise, biggest shock. I remember I was getting ready to do the post-game show here. Game 2, Lakers against the Denver Nuggets. You don't have to look too far to see when Anthony Davis clearly did not believe in Darvin Ham. I remember there were reports coming out after saying that the front office wasn't happy with the quote that Anthony Davis had. Let me read you the quote of what Anthony Davis said after game 2. Remember, Lakers were up 20, I think 20, maybe 22. They're up 20 points against the Denver Nuggets. Denver comes all the way back. Jamal Murray ends up hitting a fadeaway. I thought that was the dagger of the series. If the Lakers were going to make it a series, they had to come back to LA tied 1-1, and they put themselves in a position for that and couldn't close the job. Here's what Anthony Davis said. He said, "We have stretches where we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor." So for that post-game show, I remember sitting here, and you guys remember that I pretty much I'd start the post-game show, let's call it an hour after the game ended, something like that, within 45 minutes to an hour. Well, part of the reason why I did that, I like listening to the interviews. I like listening to Darvin Ham, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. Maybe D'Lo's got something to say, Austin Reeves. I could take some of that stuff and make it part of my post-game show. When I heard that quote, I'm like, wait a minute. What? Did Anthony Davis just say, we have stretches where we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor? He's literally saying in front of the media, this isn't something in the locker room. This isn't something behind the scenes. He's basically saying, hey, our coaching staff, Darvin Ham over there, our head coach, he's got no idea what the hell he's doing. And that game specifically, it made a lot of sense. I was watching the Lakers saying, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Are they going to run a play? Darvin, you want to use some of those timeouts? Why do you have 2 timeouts and a challenge left when the game is over? There were runs that were happening in that game where it's like, you got to, are you watching Michael Malone on the other side? The moment Lakers go on a run, kills the run. This happens a lot in the playoffs. I know we got a couple games today. I'm recording this around 11, so I know there's a Game 7 coming up. The New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Game 7 coming up. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. These coaches, I feel like, have a pulse of what's going on in the game. Darvin Ham didn't, but that wasn't the surprise or the shock, because I think we've seen Darvin Ham do this. It was Anthony Davis calling out his head coach in front of everybody. At that moment for me, it was, it's a wrap for Darvin Ham. It's a wrap. It was a wrap because it wasn't just, does Darvin Ham know what he's doing? It wasn't just, hey, Darvin Ham, you got to be more strategic here with what your game plan is. And by the way, plan A, if it worked for the first half and then Denver comes out in the second half with all these different adjustments, what's your plan B, your plan C, your plan D? Go through the list of what you have. And frankly, I didn't think there was much of a plan. I think that's what hurt Darvin Ham the most. I don't think he was able to counter when other coaches countered. But when you have one of your star players, one of the best players in the world, top 10 player in the NBA, saying that we have stretches where we don't know what's going on both sides of the floor, that's when you kind of knew. I'm like, all right, well, when this series is over, Darvin Ham's job is over as well. That ended up happening. I don't think it was a true shock or a surprise once the Lakers lost in 5 that Darvin Ham was going to be done. But the reports of Sam Amick basically saying that the front office feared, they were worried about, if they don't fire Darvin Ham, well, what is Anthony Davis going to do? Would he request a trade and everything else? And here's the reality. If you're trying to choose between Darvin Ham and Anthony Davis, I think it's a pretty easy choice to make. It's not like you're talking about Eric Spoelstra there or Michael Malone there, or I don't think of some of the top coaches around the NBA. And even the top coaches in the NBA, most of them would not survive if it's between a star player and a head coach. This one's kind of easy. I think, most people thought, all right, there are moments. Darvin Ham, Lakers didn't get eliminated in the first round strictly because of Darvin Ham, but Darvin Ham was not helping as well. And I don't think there were all these people out there that were saying, Darvin Ham, there's the next Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra. Nobody's saying that, obviously. So I think it was an easy decision for the Lakers. But I think the Anthony Davis piece of it, as Sam Amick pointed out here, you also don't want to take any chances in that. And the other piece of it, if Anthony Davis requested a trade, if Anthony Davis just decided one day, you know what, I've been with the Los Angeles Lakers now, I think it's been 5 years with them. I won an NBA championship. I just want to go somewhere else. I do think there would be a line out the door of teams out there trying to trade for Anthony Davis. But if AD requested a trade, now you're talking complete rebuild mode. Now there's no need to re-sign LeBron James, and you're taking a completely different strategy. Now that's not happening. AD's not going anywhere, so I do get the Lakers basically saying, hey, for the next couple of years, let's try to still see if we can go hit a home run and try to win an NBA championship, or at least compete for a championship. Whether you think that's realistic or not, obviously they think it's realistic, and I think the front office is going to go big game hunting here in the summer and see if they could add a third star. But there would be a line out the door if AD was requesting a trade, and it would be teams, I'm sure, the Golden State Warriors, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think of some teams in the Eastern Conference, maybe him going back to Chicago where he's originally from. There would be teams out there saying, hey, we're an AD away from actually competing. But the Lakers, obviously, we're not going to let that happen. And, like I mentioned, part of the reason why Darvin Ham is not here, I think the main reasons why is because I don't think he was a coach that you thought of when the dust settled, hey, we got to have that guy. I think that's one reason. And I think, another reason is I feel like another reason is they got to make sure their stars are happy. And if Anthony Davis isn't happy, then, Darvin Ham's going to be gone. Okay, let's get into the next topic that I saw a little bit earlier today, or this was, I think, yesterday. So I don't know if you guys know what's going on with Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell, he's got 1 year left on his contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he's actually got 2 years left, but not this upcoming year, the year after, it's a player option, so he can leave if he wants to. And there's been a lot of chatter around Donovan Mitchell. He has not requested a trade or anything like that. He's making about 35 plus this upcoming year, so something to keep in mind. But there were some reports out there that the Lakers' number one trade target was Donovan Mitchell, and that Lakers were going to try to go all in as this offseason of trying to get Donovan Mitchell. Now, a lot of that's going to be up to Donovan Mitchell and what he wants to do. Obviously, he's still under contract for a year. The Cleveland Cavaliers put together an okay season. I don't think anybody really thinks they're a true threat in the Eastern Conference. Maybe if they were healthy, but I think it's clear to say that the Cleveland Cavaliers have a ceiling. If the rest of the Eastern Conference was healthy, I don't think they get very far. Maybe win a first-round matchup, and that's about it. So now the question's got to come to Cleveland of what they're going to do in the offseason. Jovan Buha, a good friend of mine and a good friend of the channel, obviously has come on a number of different times. On his YouTube channel, I'm going to read a quote that Jovan put out there. I've heard in recent weeks that Donovan has become, if the Lakers go down the 3-star path and it's still unclear, I think they're going to kick the can down the road and see the possibility and see what the asking price is. Let's see what it is. He continues to say, and there are teams that can outbid them if they get into a bidding war, but if they go down the road, at least explore it, that Donovan Mitchell would be the preferred guy, whereas several months ago, Trae Young was a name that you were hearing about. DeJounte Murray was a name that they looked at leading into the deadline. So I'll throw this out to Laker fans, and I think this is a fair question. What do you think about going all in for Donovan Mitchell? I said this before, that the idea and the concept of Trae Young, I wasn't crazy about. I was not crazy about. Part of the reason I wasn't crazy about it is because I didn't like a future of Trae Young and Anthony Davis on the Lakers in a couple of years and feel like that can do some real damage. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell's game. I am. I'm going to actually check something here. I should have checked it before. I just want to see how many games he played this year. So this year he played 55 games. That's not a good stat there. But I'll tell you some of the things I do like about Donovan Mitchell. First off, in his years in Utah, He's got 79 games, 77, 69, 53, 67, 68, 55. I think anytime you're playing, give me 65 plus a year, and that's obviously a good target to go off of. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of his 7 years in the NBA, he has played over 65 games. Now, in a perfect world, you're playing over 70. He's only done that twice, and that was in his first couple of years, but only a couple games off of that, so nothing too crazy. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell's game. I think one of the things Donovan Mitchell, what has affected him so far in his career, he's being asked to be the star of a team. He was the best player on the Utah Jazz. He's the best player on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think having Donovan Mitchell as your second best player, now you got a squad. And the question about going all in for Donovan Mitchell, listen, he's only 27 years old. So I like the idea and the concept that anytime you go after a player, especially in the position that the Lakers are in, can Anthony Davis be your one? Well, he would have to be in this scenario if it's him and Donovan Mitchell. But let's just play out the next couple of years, and then we'll worry about life after LeBron James. If you got Anthony Davis, who I think is one of the top two-way players in the NBA, top 3, top 4, wherever you want to put him, of two-way players in the NBA, as in I'm going to hold it out on the defensive side, and I'll also drop 25 to 30 points a night with 12 rebounds and everything else that he does. LeBron, at this stage of his career, I think what you're asking for is you'd prefer that LeBron's doing less rather than more, and I think Donovan Mitchell gives them that opportunity for LeBron to do less. And Donovan Mitchell as the second or third best player on a team, I like the idea of that. I'm a fan of the concept of that. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell's game, period. If it came down to Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, that one's not even close for me. I would rather have Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to read a quote here because this is something that I want to continue to reiterate. There is no guarantee towards Donovan Mitchell even hitting the trade market. There was some reports out there that the Cleveland Cavaliers were leaning towards signing an extension, or Donovan Mitchell was leaning towards signing an extension with the Cavs. But let me read something here because ESPN, or Adrian Wojnarowski on ESPN, was on NBA Countdown. I'm going to read a quote here. I guess he connected directly with Donovan Mitchell. Here's what he said. He said, I reached out to Donovan Mitchell today, and he was emphatic in telling me that he is not disgruntled with anyone or anything in Cleveland. In fact, he said to me, I'm happy in Cleveland. I've been happy since I arrived in Cleveland. He thinks this Cavs team made progress this season, obviously winning the best-of-7 first-round series against the Magic to get to the conference semifinals for the first time since 2018. But as he said, he's not in this to go to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Donovan Mitchell knows the question that he's coming for him now in this offseason about his future in Cleveland. He said to me, I know I've got a decision to make this offseason. My agent and I will talk to Cleveland about this at the right time. He emphasized, I'm not leaving this season unhappy. I'm leaving it more determined. So Donovan Mitchell doesn't sound upset, disgruntled, or anything. However, here's what I did not hear in that quote. Guys, I'm coming back to the Cavs. So he left that door open. There was a report out there that the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets have offers ready, that those are the two teams that would like to make an offer to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think what Donovan Mitchell said about his goal is not to, just get to the conference semifinals and that's it, or get to the second round of the playoffs and that's it. I think that there's a couple different ways, I think, to look at it with Donovan Mitchell. If you're Donovan Mitchell, you're saying to yourself, do I have a better chance of winning an NBA championship or getting to the finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers or with the Los Angeles Lakers? Well, I'll tell you this. In the Eastern Conference, we know the path is easier. Now, you got the Boston Celtics there, and looks like there are a couple teams that are up and coming. Give the New York Knicks a lot of credit. What are they going to look like once they're healthy? What are the Sixers going to do in the offseason? So there's some question marks in the East. You got a lot of teams that were beat up. The Milwaukee Bucks should be a part of the mix again. But the path should be easier in the East. The problem is, I think this is what you're asking for. Do I want to play with some of these guys in Cleveland that have never won a championship, that are not top 10 players in the NBA, or do I want to play with two top 15 players in the league right now in Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I think it's fair to say those are two top 15, wherever you want to put LeBron. But come postseason, he's LeBron James and played 70-plus games this year. Donovan Mitchell can be the second or third best player on a Lakers team versus the best player on a Cavs team. And I think it's fair to say what the ceiling is, because I don't think the Cavs at best are going to get to the second round and probably not going to go past there. Now, he can also look at the Lakers and say, all right, well, Lakers, they were out in the first round of the Western Conference. Look how talented the West is. But the Lakers could also be a Donovan Mitchell away from making some real noise. So I like the idea of Donovan Mitchell. Yes, you're going to give up 3 first-rounders. You're going to give up assets. That's going to include Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and some other players, maybe a Gabe Vince. I don't know what the exact trade package would look like, but basically what you're saying is we're going to 3 stars. I understand people that say 3 stars don't work in today's NBA. I disagree with this. I disagree that three players that don't complement each other's game don't work. But I think if you could find 3 players that complement each other's game, I think that can work. And keep just a reminder to everybody here, LeBron will be 40 next year. So, however you want to describe LeBron James, Lakers are going to need help. And whether you're going to do that in a team fashion, I think they already proved that team fashion can only get them so far. You got to also have the right role players. And if it's not Donovan Mitchell and they go out and get a DeJounte Murray, but they're giving out less to go grab him, cool. I'm okay with that as well. But I like the concept of Donovan Mitchell. So you guys can feel free to put in the comments here what you think of Donovan Mitchell, and if you think he'd be the right person to have on the Los Angeles Lakers, you could put your comments below. LeBron James won't leave the Lakers to join Bronny James. You guys see this story that came out? I saw this a little bit earlier today. And let me find it again because I cannot find it at the moment. First off, this was this morning that I saw it, and Sammy had sent it to me this morning. By the way, quick shout out here to Sammy. Sammy has officially graduated from San Diego State University. So congratulations to Sammy. Got a chance to see him a little bit over a week ago. He had a little get-together with some family, some friends, and things like that down in San Diego a week ago. So congratulations to Sammy for officially graduating from San Diego State University. So happy that him and I got to work together through that internship, and we'll be doing some more stuff together. So we'll update you on that in a little bit. So LeBron James reportedly won't leave the Lakers to join Bronny with another NBA team. Let me read something here from Shams Charania of The Athletic. It really isn't that much to read. As of right now, Shams is reporting that LeBron wouldn't leave the Lakers to join Bronny with another NBA team. Lakers, we know, have the number 55th pick. There's been a lot of talk about Bronny James. I think the reality of the Lakers situation, we kind of all understand what's going on. I'm going to read something here that came from Bronny James, who told reporters at the draft combine, there's a lot of attention towards Bronny James right now. And the report of LeBron James not leaving the Lakers to join Bronny, I think he's had to walk some stuff back, because I do think initially he had said some things that I'm sure raised some eyebrows, and it was he would love to play with his son. And there was a story right after the Lakers got eliminated from Shams about the Lakers would be happy to draft Bronny and make that wish come true for LeBron James. I think I've been pretty clear how I feel. I don't like the circus show. I don't like it. That's just me personally. I'm a Laker fan. So I just want to see the Lakers make smart basketball decisions that's going to help increase their chances of having success on the court. I know they're already going to make money. I know there's a lot of attention that comes to the Lakers. I get all that. I get LeBron. I get everything that kind of comes into play with all this and the attention that the Lakers get. I want to see the Lakers win. So franchises that are making basketball decisions that's in the best interest of the basketball team, I think have better chances to win. I'm not concerned about the Lakers' bottom line and accommodating to LeBron James because, frankly, I think the bottom line is always going to be fine, and I think they have accommodated to LeBron James, and I also don't think LeBron's going to go anywhere. Here's what Bronny James had to say at the draft combine. Everything that follows my dad, people just try to link me with that and all the greatness he's achieved, and I haven't done anything yet. So there needs to be that divide between Bronny and LeBron. I just want to let people know that my name is Bronny James and not being identified as LeBron James' son. I don't think LeBron helped with that. I don't, because it was LeBron that put it out there. LeBron didn't say, hey, I don't need to play with my son. I just want to see my son in the league, and I want him to do what's best for him. Those weren't his initial comments in the beginning. And now I think, obviously he's tried walking that back a little bit. So I think ultimately, my thoughts here are this. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I do feel like I don't think LeBron's going to go anywhere, period. I think LeBron James is going to be a Los Angeles Laker for a minimum 2 more years. And I think if he demanded 3 years from the Lakers and they said, hey, we're going to give you 2, I still think LeBron would be a Los Angeles Laker. If Bronny James is not selected by the Los Angeles Lakers using their 55th pick, I still think he's going to be a Los Angeles Laker. If the Lakers don't hire JJ Redick as an example, and he wants JJ Redick, I'm pretty sure he's still going to be a Los Angeles Laker. The point that I'm trying to make, I don't think LeBron's going to go anywhere. And I've got a little confused by this front office who is so scared of LeBron James like he's going to go somewhere. He's not going anywhere. And frankly, if LeBron James decided, if the Lakers offered him a 2-year deal and not a 3-year deal, if they hired a coach that they felt like was the right coach for not the LeBron James 2-year era, but they felt for the next 5 years, and they felt like that's the best coach that's available, that's who we're going to go get, that's how they should be running their business to begin with. I get LeBron as box office. I understand that. I get LeBron sells out the arena like this. I understand that. Still the Los Angeles Lakers. Can we stop pretending like this franchise doesn't have any clout? They do have clout. They are an interesting organization. And I wish they would make more decisions based off of what they feel like is in the best interest of the organization I'm talking about on the court, rather than just accommodating to LeBron James. So the report out there that LeBron wouldn't leave the Lakers to join Bronny is not a surprise to me. Now, what I don't want to see happen is I saw something like, first off, I think Bronny's in a tough spot because he is just going to be considered LeBron's son until he goes out there and proves that he could be a decent NBA player. It doesn't help him that he didn't have that good of a career at USC in his 1 year. Now, obviously, he was coming back from his incident that he had, so I don't want to hold too much on him, but he suffered that cardiac arrest during a workout. He underwent heart surgery, so he didn't play. I think he only played 25 games, missed about the first half of the season. So I feel bad for him in general because so much of the attention on him has just got to do with his pops. But he's got to make a name for himself. And the only way he's going to do that and get respect in the league is go out there and put out a product that he feels like and that others feel like is an asset to an NBA team. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would hate to see the Lakers, be ultra aggressive of trying to go get Bronny James, or they move up in the draft pick to go get him, and it's not a player that pans out, and it's clearly done just to accommodate LeBron James. I don't think they need to do that, nor do I think they should do that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think LeBron's going to go anywhere. So that's my thoughts on that. If you guys got any, feelings on that as well, you could feel free to comment below as well. Okay, last thing I want to get into. Us getting a good half hour in on a Sunday. I got all these notes right here and everything. All prepared on a Sunday. Look at me. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Okay, last thing I want to get into. All signs pointing towards JJ Redick. Saw an article this morning. It's kind of funny, actually. In the LA Times, if you guys are familiar with Bill Plaschke, one of the best in the business. and he's obviously been doing it for a long time. Had a really, really good conversation. I've known Plaschke for a few years now. Great conversation with him. Lakers Game 4, their final game before their final game before it was their final home game of the season. So I saw Bill Plaschke put out an article. Lakers and JJ Redick are a match made in Looney Tunes. And he's really, really criticizing the move if that's what the Lakers eventually go with. But I want to read something here from Mark Stein. Mark Stein does his podcast, The League Uncut, and I'm going to read a portion of what he said. He said, if you force me right now to pinpoint a favorite based on everyone I've talked to, based on people I've spoken to in Chicago at the pre-draft combine, the early favorite he's talking about who's going to be the next coach, it would be JJ Redick. But there is a whole interview process to go through, and my read on it is I do think both Sam Cassell and James Borrego will also be strongly considered for the job. I agree with the first part of it. All signs, in my opinion, are pointing towards JJ Redick being the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Bill Plaschke, who put out that article that it's a match made in Looney Tunes. And I saw some comparisons that the Lakers look at JJ Redick as the next Pat Riley. Jake Fisher put that out, Yahoo Sports, Ball Don't Lie podcast. So everybody's got their opinion here on JJ Redick. But what Plaschke was trying to indicate more than anything else is you're basically hiring him because he does a podcast with LeBron James, and he might not be wrong there. I will say this, and I'm going to keep this kind of simple on the JJ Redick stuff. I don't know what the hell to expect. I don't. If JJ Redick is the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and you told me that in 2 years he's no longer the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, I would tell you, okay, that makes sense. Because the Lakers have a tendency to hire new coaches every 2 years and some change. They've had 6 head coaches in the last 13 years. So the numbers, obviously bear fruit. The longest tenure of a head coach they've had is 3 years over those 13 years. Frank Vogel did 3 years. I think Luke Walton might have done 3 as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know Frank Vogel did. Vogel got 3 years, and he won an NBA championship and still only got 3 years. So it shows you the carousel, the circus around the Lakers head coaching vacancy. I don't know how JJ Redick would do. I get it, those that are very hesitant about JJ Redick. I don't blame you. He's never coached. He's never been an assistant coach. So I get the hesitation there. Maybe he becomes a really, really good coach, but I think more signs would point towards you need somebody with experience. My bigger issue with the Lakers is when they fired Darvin Ham, they didn't fire him with a plan. They didn't say, we're firing Darvin Ham because, guys, we're about to hire Ty Lue. Or I'll use Jason Kidd as an example because Jason Kidd, I know he's still in the playoffs. They're in the Western Conference Finals. But they didn't fire that coach with, we got a plan. We know exactly who we're getting. That's the issue with the Lakers. I always feel like they're a step behind. I always feel like whether you like the hiring of Mike Budenholzer for the Phoenix Suns, maybe you like that coach, maybe you don't. Maybe you think it's a wash. Him or Frank Vogel, they're the same. That's the same type of whatever you want to say. At least Phoenix had a plan. What's the Lakers' plan? I don't know. I don't think they know. I think that front office spends a lot of their time, first off, they got way too many cooks in the kitchen. And I think they spend a lot of their time kind of trying to figure things out on the fly. And that's not good. That's that's obviously not a good sign for an organization. And I think this coaching thing is just another example of I'd have no idea what the Los Angeles Lakers are. I have no idea what their plan is. And frankly, I don't know if they know what their plan is. So whether it's JJ Redick or James Borrego or Sam Cassell or go down the list of other assistants, the names that we've heard, whatever coach it is, I think they're figuring it out on the fly. And for those that are very hesitant about JJ Redick, like Bill Plaschke is, how am I supposed to argue against that? You're not wrong. I think more signs will point towards JJ Redick as the coach, and he's probably gone in a couple years, than JJ Redick's the coach. And 5 years from now, he's still the coach, and he's having an unbelievable, career as a head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and find out. Nothing's official yet anyway, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay, Laker fans, that's all I got for Lakers basketball. We got some good NBA basketball coming up. Come on, OKC. How the hell Thunder lose that game? I thought we were going to get a Game 7 coming up tomorrow. Dallas is in the Western Conference Finals. Very, very impressed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that's certainly a team that's an up-and-coming team in the Western Conference. But damn, I thought we were going to get a Game 7. And, Shea with the foul in the corner on P.J. Washington, and he hits the free throws, and they don't have a timeout left, and they had a big lead and blew that lead. So, but that was a really, really good series. Denver, Minnesota tonight. I picked Minnesota to win the series, but I do feel like Denver will win Game 7, just based on kind of what we've watched here, even though Minnesota was very impressive in Game 6. Knicks and the Pacers, I don't really care. Frankly, I don't mind watching the Pacers win. I don't think it really matters because Boston's going to handle business either way. If New York ends up winning, that's a gritty team that's doing it with a lot of injuries. So that's where we're at there. Back on tomorrow, I'll have Lakers talk, continue to talk Lakers basketball. Back on with Travis Rogers in the morning on 710 ESPN. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for chilling on the show. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. Enjoy some of that basketball, and we'll get back with you guys soon. Thanks, Laker fans.